Right, good morning, and this is the intraday video from theartofchart.net. Looking at the intraday setup today. Our disclaimer: videos for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and know how to issue trading signals. Right. Now, I drew this in this morning after the open, and I wasn't taking it that seriously to start off with because we hadn't hit the trend line, and then we hit the trend line. This is a nice looking rising wedge. It really is a very nice looking rising wedge, and it's nice, beautiful, perfect trend lines. I think this may well mean that we've made the high of the day, although if we were to see a high retest from about, well, here, and you can see this is the 200 MA on the 1 minute chart I've got on here because that tends to be an important level. So if we're going to bounce and retest the high, I would have thought that would probably be from here, and then retest the high. That could give us a nice 5 minute divergence. Don't have to do that. Could head straight down to wedge support. I've got that wedge support down in about the 42.50 area, so that's about 42.39 or 40 currently on ES. So if we see a breakdown, then we could be on the way down. So we will see. Let's just have a quick review of where we are on the overall situation. Now we're on ES. We lost the sell signal here. This is a divergence kind of, but not a great one. NQ, we are slightly overthrowing the resistance here. This could well be a bearish overthrow, but I would say we've just lost the sell signal there too. RTY and YM, we both have active 60-minute sell signals there. I would note there's quite alarming looking and decent quality IHSs here. The only problem with these IHSs is they're actually too big. Really getting to the stage where I'd normally be disregarding them because they are too big. This one's about just within the right size range, really, in the 61.8. This is above it, I think. But this is, yesterday we had a nice looking IHS on RTY. Today we've got a nice one on Dow as well, and that's breaking up. This is the upside scenario if we see a breakup. So this is the upside scenario in the event that we see a breakup. I'm not expecting to see that at the moment. At the moment, certainly SPX is very much pointing the other way, but obviously we could. I'm always looking at the other scenario. Now, let's have a look at the SPX charts and consider where we are in terms of the overall position. Here, we've got a very nice looking double top here. We could break down below last week's lows, and we've got a nice looking double top which would be taking us back pretty much to the retest of this low here, which is of course itself larger double top support. So we've got a beautiful nested double top set up here at the moment. It's very, very, very nice. Doesn't have to play out, but it's nice. In terms of the 60-minute chart, we've got now there's two trend lines here. The first one is this one here. We didn't quite hit it, so I'm not really taking a lot of notice of this, but it's worth noting because we came fairly close to it. This is the main rising support since the March 2020 low, and we went through it slightly. So we come back, we retest, and something like 70% of all highs and lows on SPX are some sort of double top or double bottom. So it's not that surprising we come back and retest the high, although it did wreck my nice head and shoulder setup. But I mean, having got here, we've got a beautiful nested double top setup. It could turn here. We've got the divergence on the weekly chart. I've got an RSI 14 and an RSI 5 sell signal fixed. We will see how that goes. We've got short-term support ready at the daily middle band, which I've got, and the 50-hour moving average, which really I've got in about on ES at about the 42.10 to 20 area, and we will see how that goes. But I'm quite liking the downside here. There is a bull scenario, though. In the event that we are heading higher and we do break up, then it could be that we're just expanding this wedge. And the way that would work is we'd head back to the wedge resistance, which I would note is now in about the 43.75 area. And then at that stage, I would redraw this support trend line. And this would then be an unbroken wedge, and the next target would be the wedge support, and so on and so forth. That's the way it works. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but that is a scenario here if we were to see a hard breaking conversion upwards. Could we see that? Sure. Are we going to see that? We'll see. I'm liking NQ to the downside. I'm really liking the topping setup on SPX, but it can always go the other way. There are a couple of arguments for it going the other way. I was talking about this being a triangle, back test into the triangle, thrust up. This could be the thrust up. On Dow, On Dow, this looks kind of like a bull flag here. It's not a perfect bull flag by any means. It never really got back to the perfect support trend line, but it's not bad. This could be heading back into a retest of the high. We will see. But I mean, we do have an upside scenario here. But at the moment, I'm looking at this wedge, and we have a chance to turn this down right here. And we may well take it. If we turn back down here and we fail to make it, although obviously we could come back, retrace 50%, retest the high, then come down 100%. But if we fail to make it back to last week's low at 41.64, then that's going to increase the chances of a breakup, obviously. Because the other thing you can do with a wedge is, one thing you can do is have a termination move with a wedge, and then you come back, what the Elliott waivers call an ending diagonal. Or alternatively, you can just see a retracement and then continuation higher. So we will see which one this is, but it's a nice looking wedge, and I think it's going to be likely one or the other. Now, you can see we're coming off the 200 MA on the 1 minute. I think it's the 40 MA on the 5 minute. For obvious mathematical reasons. Now, we're coming off that at the moment. If we're going to see a retest of the high that generates negative divergence, this would be the place to do it. We will see. Do we have a 1 minute buy signal? We don't. But it hasn't quite tested this. We could alternatively be performing a little head and shoulders here. So waiting to see how this develops. If we break the 200 MA, which I've currently got in about the 42.50 area on ES, then on 1 minute, and we convert that, then chances are we're going to be down for the rest of the day. And we will see where that goes. So that's where we are. Just wanted to give a quick update because obviously the wedge is interesting and the overall setup is looking pretty interesting here. But we're really we're at a larger inflection point, and this really should take us down somewhat. And how far that gets tells us something. Because really, this wedge should possibly, maybe after a topping process, deliver a move back down into a retest of this lows, and then a breakdown further. We will see. Okay. No worries. So we will see how that goes. So I will have this posted as soon as possible. I'll catch you guys later. All right. Cheers.